Is certification more important for Scrum Masters than for product owners? So in today's video podcast episode, folks, let's have a conversation about it. I personally do not have a straight answer for this question, but I also think that this is a hard-pressing question that is very important to be discussed in the Scrum and Agile community in general. So in today's video podcast episode, folks, I will share with you my opinion from this open, wide, beautiful forest as you can see right now. So you probably rarely see people do podcasting in a forest before. Now, if you want to know my opinion, stick around. Alright, what's happening, awesome Scrum Masters? Hopefully you're having an awesome week so far. Welcome back to another video podcast episode with me, your host, Joshua Partugi. And before we start today's video podcast episode, folks, there are several updates that I need to inform you regular listeners of this podcast. First, I have changed the name of this podcast to Scrum Master Mind. Now, all of the previous episodes are still available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also Apple Podcasts. The previous episodes have not been deleted from all of these podcast platforms. I have only changed the name of the podcast. And so this is one of the challenges doing podcasts in an open forest like this. There's a lot of ants. Anyway. And secondly, folks, I have also moved out all of the videos for the podcast episodes from my YouTube channel, Scrum Master in Black, to a new channel called Scrum Master in Mind. Yes, you heard me right. This podcast now has its own YouTube channel. I made that decision because I noticed that not everyone who subscribed to the Scrum Master in Black channel likes listening to podcasts. In the future, I would like to make the Scrum Master in Black channel cleaner and more organized. I will also do live stream in the future, not in the near future, on this new channel, Scrum Mastermind channel. Thirdly, if you're watching these podcast episodes on YouTube or Spotify, yes, Spotify has made a new update where you can watch video podcast episodes on Spotify. Now, if you watch on those two platforms, you will see the videos in forms of vertical videos. So I made this decision because I think by having vertical videos, it's more convenient for me to cut out the videos into clips and upload it to other platforms like YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, or Instagram Reels. I'm still learning on how to utilize these platforms. I suppose I just need to upload more of these vertical videos to YouTube, Spotify, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn, maybe even TikTok to see the effectiveness both for you and also for me. So I'm still learning. I'm really working hard to serve you better, to help you become a better Scrum Master for your current workplace. And I would also like to serve you better by incorporating subtitles in all of the future video podcast episodes because several people, especially those who are non-native English speakers, have told me that the subtitles are quite helpful for them to understand the message that's being conveyed in the podcast episodes. So I personally think that is a positive feedback for me regarding the video podcast episodes. Now, for the Scrum Master in Black channel, I will only upload high-quality production videos onto that channel. That channel will mainly focus on informational and educational content specifically for Scrum, product management, and a blend of Scrum and product management. That means there will be fewer uploads onto that channel in the future. There will be more uploads onto the Scrum Mastermind channel because this channel, the one where you're probably watching the video podcast episodes right now, it will focus on content specifically targeted for Scrum Masters, and the content itself will be based on my personal experience and my personal opinion as a Scrum Master. Now, because I will be traveling more often this year and I want to stay productive and still make content while traveling, another thing that I would like to do more often for the Scrum Mastermind channel is to shoot outdoors like what you're seeing right now, because I know some people like Alberto Agnesi, he has given me feedback how he likes seeing me shoot videos outdoors like this because he thinks it's more dynamic rather than in a studio. So that's another thing that I'd like to do more often, and you will see more outdoor videos on this channel, the Scrum Mastermind channel. So for the Scrum Master in Black channel, at the time being, I want to make that channel specifically focused for in-studio recording videos. So alright folks, enough about updates and about plans for the future, both for the Scrum Mastermind and Scrum Master in Black channel. Let's get back to today's video podcast episode topic. And we are now on episode 20 for this brand new name podcast, Scrum Mastermind. And in today's episode, I want to discuss this hard-pressing question: does the Scrum Master need to have more certification than product owners before they can nail for a Scrum Master position? So Sabine Hopkins, who works for productowner.nl, observed that in the Netherlands, there are more job ads that require Scrum Master candidates to have Scrum Master certification than job ads that require product owner candidates to have product owner certification. Wow. That's quite lengthy. Now, I really don't observe the trend for job ads specifically for Scrum Master and product owners here in the Australian job market. So as for me, I mostly work with Scrum Masters who need mentoring and support in making changes in their company, or Scrum Masters who are involved in transformation at their current workplace. And when I work with these companies and these Scrum Masters, usually what I'm seeing is the product owners in these companies are someone who is selected from inside the company instead of someone who is hired from the job market professionally. In my case, I rarely work with companies who hire product owners professionally from the job market. And maybe because I work mostly with large corporations rather than with upcoming technology startup companies. So with that in mind, my observation and my personal experience is different to what Sabine has observed in the Netherlands. It might also be different to what you're observing in your country or in your region, in the job market that you're in. So I have just searched on the biggest job ads website here in Australia, that is seek.com.au. And from my research, I did notice that there are several job ads for Scrum Masters in Australia that do require Scrum Master certifications for the candidate. But when I looked at it objectively, the number is not that significant. What I'm seeing is there are still several companies who post job ads that don't require the candidate to have Scrum Master certification at all. Now, personally, I've found that quite enlightening. And from my research, I also found that the comparison between the requirements in the job ads for Scrum Master and product owners are quite interesting. I found there are fewer product owner job ads that require the candidate to have product owner certification. Now, I would like to learn from you, from your personal experience. What are you seeing in your country or in your region? Do you also notice that there are more job ads that require Scrum Master certification for the Scrum Master candidates than product owner certification for the product owner candidates? And do you also notice the same trends as what Sabine noticed in the Netherlands? And if you do notice the same trends, why do you think there is this phenomenon in your region or in your country? Leave a comment in the comment section. If you're watching today's video podcast episode from YouTube, leave a comment there. I think in Spotify, you cannot leave comments yet, I think, but I'm going to check it out later. Now, going back to today's podcast episode topic, why are there fewer companies who require the candidate to have product owner certification? Now, I personally think, and this is my personal opinion, this is my own hypothesis. I think for product owners, they are considered successful if the product they manage succeeds in the market. So if the product owner manages a considerably popular commercial product, that product will be noticeable by the recruiter or the hiring manager. So the product owner don't need to sugarcoat any information, do not need to gain any data, any metrics. And because of that reason, I personally think any professional certification becomes less important if the product that the product owner manages during their tenure is successful in the market. That's my hypothesis why certification becomes less important for product owner candidate. On the other hand, if we look at the Scrum Master's accountability in the Scrum Guide, the Scrum Master is considered successful if the company they lead, because Scrum Master is a true leader who serves, is transformed to become more agile than before the company went on board with Agile and Scrum. And at the team level, the team they lead is delivering value effectively. Now, effectiveness, change, transformation, I personally think that is quite hard to prove, and it might not be observable by the recruiter or by the interviewer. Those kind of information are not exposed for public consumption. Team effectiveness, transformation, agility are not easily noticeable by the recruiter when compared to successful products. That's what I think. The company where the Scrum Master used to work may have written a case study about the transformation they had, but as someone who has written case study before, I know that much of those information about the transformation that happened, not all of the information are written in the case study. Much information can be hidden for public consumption, like the failure case or the bureaucracy or the politics or the conflict that happened in the company during those transformations. Changing a company to a level where the company is very effective in continuously delivering value may take more than 2 years or 3 years from my personal experience, from my personal observation. Here's another interesting thing. By the time the company starts moving towards the right direction and they're becoming more agile than before they went on board, everything that has been built, all of the foundation that has been built, may be scrapped out by the senior leadership team who has been appointed by the board of directors. And I see this quite a lot in large corporations, especially in public companies. So I would say a successful product can be proven using quantitative data. And if the product is a commercial product, it will be easier to be noticed by the headhunter, by the recruiter, or by the interviewer. But if we look at what the Scrum Master does, their success mostly can only be proven by qualitative data. Now, this is my personal opinion. I would like to know your thoughts. Leave a comment, leave your opinion in the comment section down below in the YouTube channel Scrum Mastermind. I personally think organization change is more subjective because it involves changing human behaviors when compared to product success in the market, which is more objective. Actually, I'm not sure if you have noticed, I made a video about measuring Scrum Master accountability, and I uploaded that video to the Scrum Master in Black channel. So go find that video on the Scrum Master in Black channel, go watch it. I won't explain it again in this video podcast episode. As I explained in that video, the metrics to measure Scrum Master accountability can be found in the ability to innovate and time to market key value area. But again, usually these kinds of data are not publicly exposed. You can't share it to the public. You probably can't even share it with the interviewer or for the next company that the Scrum Master wants to work for. And because of that reason, because there is no quantitative data for the interviewer to know whether the Scrum Master candidate is really good, they kind of fall to rely on certification. That's my hypothesis. All right, folks. So I intended today's episode to be a short one. I intended to make today's episode as a discussion opener. I was just spilling out what has been bugging my brain that's just my purpose for today's video podcast episode. I would also like to learn what is the trend in your country, in your region, in the place where you live at the moment. Do you also notice the trend where the Scrum Master candidate is required to have certifications, and not only one, several certifications as a proof that they are capable, that they are good for the company? As you have heard on today's video podcast episode, I did not really provide straight answers here. And in the future, that's how I want the podcast to be. Opinionated contents based on my personal experience, a discussion opener, a hard-pressing question that we need to discuss openly in the community, in the Scrum Master community, in the Agile community in general. Alright, so if you want to join the conversation, go to my YouTube channel, Scrum Master, find this video and leave a comments there. And I'm looking forward to have a conversation, to have an open discussion with all of you. That is all for today, folks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching today's video podcast episode. Now, if you're currently listening to today's episode on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or even Spotify, and have not yet subscribed to the Scrum Mastermind channel on YouTube, go subscribe now, because not only I will post podcast episodes onto that channel, I will also do vlogging. There's also several short videos on that channel, and that channel will be specifically targeted towards Scrum Masters who wants to level up their game. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you, and see you in the next podcast episode or my vlog on the Scrum Mastermind channel. Goodbye.